So hello, everybody. So before we also officially start this webinar, please let's have a quick introduction for ourselves. So we are further limited and specialized on BI and AEC related solution. We have 3 business units. First, we have a sales team to offer the BIM solution from the telco third level from worldwide, and hope that can help the user in Hong Kong. And next, we have our own telco team. Additional to providing training and technical support, we also provide consultation service to our customer, helping them to try the right solution and support them to customize the workflow by developing Revit plugin and demo program for them. And last, we also have our in-house BIM project team to provide also BIM service to our customer. So here are the major products that we carry. We hope that they can help our customer to implementing BIM better. So if you have any inquiry on those products, please feel free to send your inquiry to us. And today, we are so glad that we would like to introduce our product called RealTime Reflect. So it's a very easy to use BIM viewer for multiple models to help you to streamline communication in your AEC project. It supports native plugin working seamlessly with Revit, Navisworks, SketchUp, and Rhino. And more BIM software will supporting too. So we especially want to introduce this product to Revit users because as Revit Live have been stopped development for a moment that they supporting up to 2019 version. So I hope that RealTime Reflect can give you a better solution. So today, I think everybody is excited to know more about RealTime, and we are so glad that we have 2 RealTime experts today to have the sharing to us. So Elizabeth Guzman, as an architect, she is also a technical specialist for RealTime AEC business. And John Futscher, he is a professional software developer, and he is very experienced on RealTime platform. So now, please welcome Elizabeth to have her sharing to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I will start sharing my screen. Great. I hope you can see my screen. Perfect. Well, hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. We'll talk about Streamline Communication AEC with RealTime Reflect, specifically about bridging the gap between design and decision makers. Like it was mentioned before, your presenters for today will be my colleague John Futscher and myself, Elizabeth Guzman. We're both technical specialists here at Unity Technologies. Here's the agenda that we will review today. First, we give an introduction to Unity, some company facts and figures, an introduction to RealTime Reflect, and a live product overview of different features and solutions Reflect provides. Any questions you might have during the session, please feel free to add them in the Q&A panel. We will have time allocated at the end of the session to answer them live. Then we will close the webinar with any pricing, promotion information, and any reseller closing remarks. Great. To start, for those of you who do not know, Unity is the most widely used real-time 3D development platform in the world, where we enable anyone from emerging creators to global technology to companies in AEC, manufacturing, automotive, all the different tools that they need to create powerful, operating, monetize the experience in real-time world. We were founded in the year 2004, and we really have a global presence with about 45 offices in about 17 countries, and I would say about 3,500 full-time employees today. Yesterday, we were concentrating on gaming, but today we're not only doing gaming, but architecture, engineering, construction, of course, energy, education, advertising, automotive, aerospace, healthcare, technology, just to name a few. And we have users creating real-time 3D experiences with Unity in all these different industries. But what is real-time 3D? Well, it is something that is immersive, it is interactive, it looks real, it acts real. It's like a high-end video game. So with real-time 3D, you can walk through space, you can open doors, you can move objects, and you can overlay digital content into the real world. And everything you see in there, the lights, the reflection, the animations, and information all that is being rendered in real time. So we're actually curious to know how many companies, so what companies outside of gaming, specifically in AEC and manufacturing, think about the use of real-time 3D. So we conducted a study with Forrester last year, where 97% of the participants in AEC and manufacturing say that they see great potential in the use of real-time 3D. 94% of the companies said that they have invested or expanding their investment in the technology. And on average in AEC, they see at least 6 use cases for real-time 3D. However, only 19% are currently doing it. And the ones that are only used for really large models or pretty late in the design process, but all the solutions and implementations are no longer needed. And we understand why. The process of creating real-time experiences is everything but real-time. And there are many factors. There's a data preparation process where it can take days or even weeks of highly technical teams to be able to prepare and optimize all the big data required for these visualizations. So imagine you might start with a 2D model that you bring into 3D. Let's say you use Revit, then you transform that and use 3D Max for any visualization purposes. Then you use other tools for VR and AR. And throughout all that process, you have multiple technicians and changes happening at the same time. So definitely a painful data preparation process. Second, architects and designers, myself, I'm an architect, are not developers. So very few can code in Unity. So that limits the applications they can use for the type of implementations. Third, while the models are beautifully rendered, the metadata is usually lost, which limits the potential of visualization that you can gain for that information. And as you know, usually the work is done in silos, but not everyone is able to participate, provide feedback easily in an environment that everyone can collaborate together. And unfortunately, that results in a communication breakdown that has costly mistakes and inefficiencies. That definitely doesn't align with the industry today, where design iterations are critical. You have dozens of iterations and multiple teams working together. So what we're doing about it here at Unity? Well, we partnered up with Autodesk to create native plugins and applications such as Revit and Navisworks to seamlessly integrate and optimize facilitated data conversion and preparation process. And through that collaboration, Unity Reflect was born. What is Unity Reflect? It's a BIM and design coordination solution that allows and connects all project stakeholders, clients, and decision makers into one immersive, collaborative, real-time platform, regardless of the device you're using, the model size, or the geographic location. You can transfer your BIM data from Revit, Navisworks, SketchUp, and Rhino. We have native plugins inside all those applications in order to create real-time 3D experiences on a range of devices that you can use for augmented reality, for VR, allowing you to bridge the gap between design and decision makers. Preflight is a design review and coordination solution that allows for the following. You can communicate design intent. We have an immersive and interactive environment where everyone can provide feedback easily and can navigate it really easy. You can also have faster decision making. We have data federation and lifelink, meaning that any changes that you make in the platform, such as changing the materials in Revit, moving doors, moving geometry, you will see all that implemented and reflected in Reflect instantly. You also can use Reflect in any platform, anywhere, but you can connect multiple stakeholders by having cloud solutions and also having AR, VR, desktop, and laptop applications. And last but not least, it is a flexible, customizable application that allows you to have a starting point and launchpad for further initial implementations that we don't offer out of the box. Now we're going to present to you a live product overview of our fall 2020 release of Unity Reflect. So here on my screen, on my left, I have a Navisworks model, and on the right, I have the Reflect model. As you know, Navisworks is a great tool that improves review and BIM coordination by combining design and construction data into one model. I have all the information I need. This is a great view if you're analyzing this with your technical colleagues, the one that have the expertise to be able to navigate through the model and look at all the information. But imagine now you're in a meeting and the client joins the meeting, or the building owner, and they want to have feedback and provide that feedback to you in a design review. This might not be the best tool for them because they will not understand the technicalities. Like, as you know, you need to, in order to navigate to the model, you need to use the wheel, the different shortcuts, like to walk and to go around, to span. Of course, if you're a Navisworks user, you know your shortcuts with the wheel and the shift and all that implementation. But as you know, that requires additional training and knowledge of the tool. You might say, well, the BIM coordinator, the person that uses Navisworks every day, can be the person guiding the meeting, leading the meeting for the building owner and the client. They can make notes and apply those changes later. But that is not great either, because you want your building owners and your clients to be engaged, to be able to immerse themselves in the model and provide actionable feedback. So in contrast here, we have Unity Reflect. Reflect is an application so much as it is a collaboration environment that enables everyone to get into the model and see how it really is. Provide feedback on what is good. Your clients can give you feedback and interact with each other. Like, for example, if I want to navigate using my computer here, I just easily move my mouse. I can also fly into the model really easily by double clicking, and it takes me to that specific space. I can also lock myself into a camera view. And if I get lost in the model and want to go to that initial view, I just can easily go back to home. As you can see, the navigation is so much better. And we're actually really well positioned as a game engine because we have worked with literally hundreds and hundreds of iterations to figure out how to navigate an environment, to make it easy for everyone, technical and non-technical users. You're probably wondering as well, but what about all the BIM data, all the information that comes from a Navisworks and Revit model? Is that about to reflect? Of course, it is here as well. So you have all the implementation that you need to revise this information for different stakeholders. You can isolate and hide items and show different implementations and solutions, and all that in an easy to use and collaborative environment. Right now, you're probably wondering, well, this is great. I can bring my information for different platforms into Reflect, but how is the process to how does I look to export the data? So now I'm going to show you another model, and I'm using Revit. So for those of you familiar with Revit, you will see the Unity Reflect tab next to add-ins. And in here we have three options. We have the Reflect dashboard, we have the export and the sync. The export and the sync, like the name implies, allows you to export the information, the geometry and all the metadata. And the sync allows you to make any changes in here in the platform. You will see them instantly in Reflect. If I go to the dashboard, you're able to see the location where you can export this model. So you can always have it exported locally, meaning that it will remain on premises on your desktop and your device. You can also have local networks. You can share this model, let's say in your office, with the local network and with your colleagues to visualize the model. And last but not least, you can share this model on the cloud. It allows you to tie the office to the field, so you can visualize this model anywhere. It doesn't matter the geographic location, doesn't matter the device you're using. And regarding to the cloud, I would like to make a note that we never actually put your Navisworks model or your Revit model in the cloud. What we do is we take the derived data or the geometry and BIM if that data need this information, and we bring that to Reflect for visualization. Right here, I'll link this model and it's connected to the cloud. So instead of me revising this with you in Reflect with all the features implementations, my colleague John, he's all the way in Buffalo, New York, I'm located in Canada, also have access to this model. So John will share his screen and we will revise with him at the design review meeting where we will go all the different features we have for Reflect. So with that, take it away, John.
Thank you, Ellie. Can you see my screen all right?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Excellent. So what if you wanted to have a design review session with customers and stakeholders that were located all over the world, or they're not very technical, maybe they don't have access to a powerful PC, or they don't know how to use Revit or Navisworks? Well, now with Unity Reflect, you can invite anyone from anywhere on any device into the conversation. Here we have the same model that Ellie had open in Revit seen through the Reflect viewer. And with very simple and intuitive controls, I can move around the model with mouse and keyboard. And we can already see that the visuals are quite improved. And it's very easy and intuitive to get around. You can also even double click to warp to different locations to get into things easily. And without having any prior technical knowledge or expertise with those other platforms, I can very easily and clearly see what the current state of the actual project is. And while the visuals and the navigation are great, one of the things to recognize is that this isn't a visualization platform. It also contains all of the BIM data from the actual project from Revit. So here we can see, selecting the different objects, we can actually see, the ID, the category, the family of all the different pieces from the project. And beyond that, with our technical colleagues 100 miles away, we can have a conversation. And what if I noticed that this floor didn't have the material on it that we had previously discussed? I could ask them to change it and specifically ask for this ID to potentially be changed to a hardwood material, let's say.
Perfect. I'm the technical colleague miles away, so I'm the one having control of the Revit model on my end. So like John was mentioning, what happens, let's say, if you have the raw material delivered on site, or you have a purchase order with a contractor that it says to change the carpet to now be hardwood, and as you know, that's an extra cost, and you will definitely want to see that reflected in your model. So I will go ahead and look at this Revit model on my end, and I will change the material now from carpet to hardwood. So I will just look for the material in here, and I'm going to apply the change to my end. You should be able to see that on John's screen.
Excellent. And there it is. And you can see not only did the issue get spotted, but I was able to make a clear request without any ambiguity using the language provided by the BIM data to speak with my technical colleagues and make a very specific actionable requests to change something. And I know that my request was not only understood, but actioned properly. It wasn't lost in some meeting minutes somewhere. My request was updated into the document of record, into the actual project itself.
Exactly. And this is great for collaboration and design review. Like, especially myself as an architect and also as a building engineer, we have been dealing with these issues with communications throughout the years. Usually when we study architecture, we not only study design and collaboration, we also study like management, humanities, how you can talk to your clients. So imagine we went through having 2D models for that, to doing little maquettes and 3D models, then to having Revit, or the BIM platforms, and now Preflight is taking that even further. So I will definitely be happy to have Preflight back then, and definitely excited to have it now.
Right. And if you didn't catch that, like she said, it could have a major impact on your budget and your timeline. And it was easy as making sure that all the customers and stakeholders were involved in the conversation. If the person who knew what it was supposed to look like could easily see without having to parse through the data, that was the wrong material on that object, and they could call that out and save you time and money. And while having the translation from the BIM data is very helpful to have that conversation, this is also my own view on the project, and everybody gets their own singular view on the setup, and they can also filter based on that same BIM data. So I can filter on all the doors, let's say, or the ceilings, and I can also use it to turn things on and off very easily. So for example, this model has phasing data, so we actually can step it back into different times in the construction of the project very easily. Also, we can even, this is also a good view when you're trying to have a conversation about the layout. And we can take it further by also dropping out extraneous details like the textures, so more of like a white card view. So if you're trying to have a meeting that's focused on the layout and you don't want to get bogged down in the trivialities of basic colorings on a wall where that might not be very important later, it's not important until the wall is actually built. This allows you to keep your meetings on task, because I'm sure we've all been in meetings that got bogged down in trivialities. But it's just as easy to bring it all back. And I can turn all the different things back on. And I can also take it a step further to actually bring in the interior lighting. So see here, we have the ability to turn on and off the interior lighting to get a sense of the space of what it would look like if it was actually lit by the lights that were proposed by the project. And on that note, we also have the natural lighting sun study tool. So here, once you know the location of your build, you can put in the latitude and longitude of anywhere in the world and select the time of year. And then using the slider of the dial, you can actually see what it would look like at various times of day being naturally lit by the sun at that appropriate height based on your latitude and longitude. And for example, at about 6 o'clock, we can see that there's a lot of sun on this far wall. And maybe we didn't want all that sun going into those offices at 6. And that led us to making sure we added these window shades that are on this side. And we can see in real time the effect of what would happen. It's another power of the real-time visualization. It's very easy to see, and it's natural to understand, what it would look like. Now, all this is great, but we did mention on any device, and all of this has been being seen through our desktop viewer. So one of the other devices we offer is the virtual reality headset. So here we have the same space being viewed through an Oculus Rift VR headset. Now, it's important to note that it didn't take any extra preparation of the data. This is the same model, imported the same way. So with one click, with the ability to have the headset present, you can go into virtual reality, and with no prior training, simply put on the headset and look around. And now being rendered in true stereoscopic 3D, you can actually get a sense of scale. Virtual reality is very good at giving a sense of scale and a presence in a location. So you can actually feel how far away that wall is, or see if the room seems like it's too tight, or a hallway might be too narrow. You get a real sense of what it might be like to stand there. And even though it's an exciting view, it doesn't lack any of the functionality we already described. You have the same ability to filter and select the BIM data and use the sun study tools or the texturing tools as well. This is a very important view for potentially building excitement. It allows people to get a real sense of what the project might feel like to be in when it's completed. Now, with how exciting as it might be, we understand that not everybody has access to virtual reality headsets, but what everybody typically does have access to these days are mobile devices. So to that end, here is the same model again being viewed on a mobile device. So here we see it on a tablet being viewed. Similar setup, nice view, all the same options apply. I can see my BIM data and I can filter. But the first question that anybody asks when we start talking about mobile is, how am I going to get my huge architectural model onto a mobile device? Well, to that question, I will load a slightly larger model live here. And to answer that question, Reflect offers our custom progressive streaming algorithm. This allows you to load the model, no matter its size, iteratively, while you still retain control of the device. So I can get in and start looking around before it's all loaded. It will all load eventually, but before it is all loaded, I can still go in and filter on things and get information about different objects. And it'll prioritize the things that are closest to my view. So if you have a really large model and you want to get in and take a look, you don't have to wait for the whole thing to load, but it will all load. You can see the blue boxes as they're dropping out. Those are the things like loading in. I mentioned this was a slightly larger model than the previous one as well, because this one also incorporates the federated data from Navisworks. So here, if I drop out the architectural data, I can see the HVAC data or the structural data by itself, along with the architectural. And it's a nice, simple way to filter out and potentially resolve clashes visually before they become an issue further. Another view we also offer is our augmented reality view. So here, you can drop your model into any location within the space, here on the floor, but on a tabletop or any location close to you. This is excellent for the extremely non-technical users that might be part of your conversation, because it requires absolutely no inputs to look at it from different angles. You simply move around with your mobile device and you can see it from any angle. All the same filtering opportunities are still present. I can filter it for just the HVAC systems and structural. We can also take it a step further and scale it up to get another view. So here's another view of the space being viewed through a mobile device. We can take this all the way up to 1-to-1. So similar to our virtual reality view, being viewed through a mobile device, you can actually look around and see what it might be like to stand within the space of the completed model. And so, as you can see, Unity Reflect allows you to connect all your project members in an immersive, collaborative, real-time, collaborative environment, regardless of device, regardless of the location. They can be out on a job site. It can connect your external partners to the office and allow you to have a cohesive view on the space. It allows you to use any device like the VR headsets, the AR devices, and it allows you to focus on having an actionable discussion where everybody is speaking the same language. It provides the Rosetta Stone where everybody has the same data, so you can be sure that the things that you're talking about are understood across all the teams, regardless of their technical background or expertise or their geographical location. And relying on older design review models that exclude your remote workers or non-technical stakeholders, you're opening yourself up to miscommunications and increasing risks on your project. But giving them an accessible and unified view, you can involve anyone, anywhere, and on any device and get their insight into your project. And it not only saves you time and money that would be lost on rework, but it also engages them in the conversation. It gives them ownership on the project, and it grows excitement for it, because when they're involved in the discussion, it's their project now too. Right, Ellie?
Exactly. And to build on John's point, as you saw, are the interfaces of Revit and Navisworks really the best ones to show what a design looks like? Is it a render camera or render view the best way to show a design for everyone to collaborate together to express their feedback and have technical users, clients, and anyone involved with the model? As you saw with Reflect, it provides you with all different interface, the tools that you need to solve all those issues and either solution to all those answers.
Right. And it's important to note that if there was anything that you thought that you wished it was doing, or you thought that, oh, I wish it did this, but I didn't see that in the presentation, know that Unity Reflect is built with Unity, which can be used to build almost anything. So it's a completely extensible platform. So when you have Unity Reflect with Unity Pro, you can customize it however you like and extend it, building anything else you'd like on top of it. So far as even building things like one-to-one AR at the location, we've seen other external partners make great use of this. And if you don't have any developers on staff, you can work with your resellers to get any customizations you might be looking for.
Excellent. And to that point, I will share my screen again. Okay, so like Joe mentioned, you can unite your Reflect with Unity Pro to do even furthermore, customizations and any implementations that you might need. So far, what we presented to you today is the out-of-the-box solution. So we have, of course, the third-party plugins of Navisworks, the SketchUp, Rhino, and Revit. And also you have all the information that you can bring from Reflect to a pharmacist on the cloud. Now you can take all this data and use Unity Pro to extend the applications on Reflect. Like for example, for the VR headset, we have out of the box the Oculus Rift, but you can export it to the 25 plus applications we support with Unity Pro, like the Microsoft HoloLens and other applications. A few examples of how you can unite Reflect and Pro is you can brand the experience. So you can create a custom application for your teams and clients by having the logo or having the image of the project. You can also build custom applications for AR and VR for different platforms as well. And you can also have photorealistic environments and walkthroughs to achieve a high fidelity for your projects. For many use cases, the level of high fidelity that in rendering the Unity provides out of the box is more than sufficient for revising projects. But you might need more like a crisper material or more like interactive walkthrough. You can definitely achieve that with Reflect and Unity Pro. Myself, especially as an architect, I'm really excited about Unity Reflect because it really allows everyone, non-technical, technical users, clients, architects, engineers, BIM coordinators, to give actionable insights and feedback to allow everyone to be included in the conversation that probably they were not included before. But of course, just don't take my word for it. We have clients utilizing Reflect today. Like for example, here we have from Adam, Friendship Architects, mentioning that this is a game changer for the industry. So after the presentation today, we really hope you're excited to try out Reflect, and that it also becomes a game changer for you. So with that, we'd like to thank you so much for your time today, and we're open for any questions you might have for us.
Okay, thank you, Elizabeth and John. So now it is Q&A session. So please feel free to send your question if you have any. So I think thank you very much for Elizabeth and John's presentation. It's giving me a lot of idea how Unity Reflect and help it in our AEC project, and even have the customization possibility to have a better communication for our project. So here we have two questions from the attendant. So let me repeat his question. So the first one, how to align the model to the site environment in AR mode? And the second one is, would there be a need for marketers to align the model on site for one-to-one immersive experience? So I think the attendant is very interested on the customization viewer in Unity Reflect. So Elizabeth or John, can you talk about more about this?
Sure. So currently we have seen partners like Shop use markers to do their one-to-one extensions on it at the location of the site. There are potentials to extend this using markerless solutions as well. If you have developers, you can build out markerless solutions that could locate your site in various ways. And I know that other extensions using things like Unity Mars also allow you to detect certain facets of the environment that could be used for your anchoring as well.
Yeah, so right now what John presented to you was a tabletop AR, where you just easily place your model in a, a surface. We're also working on, improving on AR solutions to one-to-one and, for the environment too. And like you mentioned, we have clients that have customized experience with markers, auto implementations too in Unity Pro.
Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. So we can share more information available about the calculator.
Great. I don't see any more questions open. So if you're, maybe you revise this in the recording later, or you have any more questions that came up later after the presentation, you can feel free to contact us. And for Forward Limited, we'll definitely forward that information to us. So you have any inquiries, this is the technical inquiry email that you can send them to. Any information, for sure, we would love to hear from you. You have your feedback about our features and solutions, and try to reflect. Those offers are amazing, by the way, so I will really strongly advise you to take advantage of them.
Yeah, so thank you, Elizabeth. So in the pop-up window, you can see that there's a pool. So we have to fill it out and let us know your feedback for the webinar today. So we really appreciate. So, and of course, you have any question about the content we have today for this webinar, please send your inquiry to us at unity.support@forward.com.hk.
Perfect. I don't see any more questions not on the Q&A and chat. So with that, I think thank you so much again for joining. Thank you so much again for Forward Limited for all your continued support and partnership. And like was mentioned, if you have any inquiries, please feel free to reach out to that email. If you have any questions for us, they will be sending that to us. So we would love to hear from you. Please try to reflect, take advantage of the offers, and we would like to see you again.
Yeah, thank you. So today's webinar, we'll send you the webinar replay later by email. So please keep in touch, get in touch with us if you have any further questions. Okay, so today I think we will have a very good webinar today. Thank you for your time joining us. So see you next time. So remember, we have the next session for content next week on Thursday afternoon at 4. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.